Hallelujah, hallelujah. I give you a new commandment, says the Lord. Love one another as I have loved you.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
When Judas had left them, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself. God will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little while longer. I will give you a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. So you also should love one another. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." The Gospel of the
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Let us all be seated for the moment.
I have given you a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. So you also should love one another. This is the most important commandment of God out of all the teachings that He gave us. And out of all the commandments, the Old Testament has presented to the chosen people, this is the most central commandment that connects all. Love one another. And He gives us the reason is because I have loved you first. So, this is the reason we love one another. We don't love because we are so loving person, because we are saints, because we have a good personality, people who never get angry or grudging towards each other. So I can love each other very easily. That's not what Jesus is saying here. He said, even those you cannot love, even those that are not lovable, even your enemies, even people who betrayed us, family members, friends, you love them as because I have loved you. Meaning, love because for Jesus. I love others for Jesus. So in order to, for Jesus, we need to have experienced God's love. Just the center of our religion of our faith comes through this experience of knowing and experiencing the love of God. It will be very sad if a Christian, if a Catholic Christian has not experienced experienced, has not felt the love of God in their lives. Because that means they have nothing to share with others. If we have not experienced God's love, what can we give? We can only give what you have. We cannot give what we don't have. So if Jesus asks the disciples, right? So this is a close Last Supper conversation. This is the last conversation before he go onto the cross. So he's actually saying his last words, teachings to the disciples. Jesus wants them to preach the gospel of love to all nations. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, he said, if you have love for one another. First, it's a mission that how many of us are willing to take up? How many of us has accepted this invitation, this calling to mission for Christ, to become his spokesman, to become a spread and sharing of the gospel of love of Christ to others. Because we can baptize, we can become Christians, Catholic Christians, and then we come to church, but we maybe in our whole life we have not shared a single loving moment to another person. Or in our whole life we have not influenced even half a person to come closer to Jesus, not necessarily to the Holy Mass. Okay? I mean, there's a process in the beginning before they get baptized. Maybe the Holy Mass is not the best thing to invite, but we can invite them to like prayer gatherings, or like services, or some of the teachings, Bible studies, so that they can have an opportunity to listen, to observe, and to decide for themselves if Jesus is who they want to follow. Remember, they are not to follow us. It's not our responsibility to say, okay, come. And if they don't come, we feel shameful, or we feel sad or rejected because I invited him or her so many times, but they never come, or they come a few times and they don't come anymore. And then we feel sad. And then because of that, we think twice before we invite the next person. Because of the first bad experience. That is, we need to correct that, because it's not about us. They don't come because they like us. They don't come because they like me, right? They don't come because they agree that this is what I believe, this community, or Fatima Church. Oh, this is great. Oh, maybe they don't feel like this is, they like, maybe for many different reasons, something else. We don't have to feel sad. It's their choice. God only wants us to show, to let them know you are my disciple. Right? That's what he says. This is how all will know that you are my disciple, if we have loved one another. So the commandment does not ask us to convert people. You must convert, because of love, you must make them baptized. According to this commandment here. And elsewhere, yes, he asks us to baptize all nations in the name of the Father and Son and Holy Spirit. But in order to show love, is to let them to know this all. If they know that we love one another, they would change, they would make a decision, they would make a choice to follow Jesus, to follow his loving God. Or they convert back maybe they were believers, but they've forgotten or they have left the church. That will be an opportunity for when they see again, reminder, this loving, commandment, community of Christ. They will come back when they are ready.